I would like to talk about the 34 Washerfolk families who live on the IIT Kanpur campus, who are facing the threat of eviction by the authorities. Now, these families have been living since IIT Kanpur was created in the early 60s, or rather late 50s. The land was acquired from two villages. A standing crop was destroyed to take over the land. The farmers did not get any compensation for their land. Those were the times when you could easily go and take over land without much hue and cry, or protest from the landowners, and this was all being done in the national interest, and the farmers were supposed to contribute to national interest, and some compensation was given for the standing crop which was destroyed, but none for the land. Though they were promised that one person from every family will be given a job when the Indian Institute of Technology will be created. However, when the IIT got created, it was professors mostly from South India who came. Some of them came with their own staff. So the only vacancies which were open for the local people, and especially the families who were displaced when the land was acquired for IIT, was essentially at the lowest level. That is at the level where you have security guards and gardeners and watchmen and people like those. And all the families were not able to, members of all families were not able to secure jobs. Some of them were lucky to get jobs, and IIT was created. And then it was discovered that there was no washing facility, and washerfolk were needed to come to the campus to do the job, and therefore the then IIT director, Mr. Kelkar, invited 34 families of washerfolk from the area where HBTI is located. HBTI is Harcourt Butler Technological Institute, which was where the IIT Kanpur was started. The HBTI campus was housing the IIT until IIT got its own campus, and so these families were brought from this area where HBTI is located to the IIT, which is located beyond Kalyanpur, and they were given land to settle. Small houses were built for them, but what is amazing is that the IIT did not think of building toilets for them. So these 34 families, even after the open defecation free campaign has been over, in 2019, October 12, when Mr. Modi became the Prime Minister for the second time, he declared on Gandhi's birth anniversary that India had become open defecation free. Now, that would mean that everybody or every family has a toilet to themselves, if not a private one, at least a toilet which they can share with some families, or a community toilet. But these 34 families who live on IIT campus, they do the important job of washing of clothes of all the students, faculty members, and staff families. They are yet without any toilet. Now, every national institution, academic institution, universities were given the task of adopting 5 villages in their vicinity, so that the job of making them open defecation free could be taken up. So I'm sure IIT Kanpur must also have been asked to do this. It must have selected 5 villages, which it would have hopefully made open defecation free. But it is mind-boggling that IIT Kanpur administration did not look inward and discover that 34 families on its own campus. Now, mind you, IIT is one of the most premier technological institutions, not just of this country, but internationally. Most of the students who do their BTech here are either they go for higher education in the top United States educational institution, or get hired by some of the top companies, or they become consultants and go into financial jobs. Essentially people of very high caliber, and they are occupying top positions in companies and even government, and a number of them join civil services. So such an institution which produces very high caliber people who are, internationally spread across, many countries, and occupying top positions in government and private corporations. This campus did not ever think of building toilets for its washerfolk, and now comes the worst phase in the life of these washerfolk, that they are being asked to move out of the campus because the IIT administration at this time, headed by the director Professor Mahindra, wants to install washing machines in hostels. And they say that once washing machines will be installed, these washerfolk will become redundant, and therefore there is no need for them, and therefore they should move out. Now imagine these families living there for almost 6 decades, more than 6 decades. They said they are second or the third generations now living there, and they have served the IIT campus all their life. They have a washing facility there. That is the only job that they know. Traditionally, even according to the Indian caste system, that is the job that their previous generations have been doing, of washing clothes. So that is the only work that they know. And now suddenly they are being asked to move out of the campus. So their livelihood is in danger, but the IIT administration is so ungrateful that instead of rehabilitating them, or at least finding an alternative livelihood for them, it is issuing notices to them, sometimes saying that the houses in which they live are dilapidated, and there's a danger that they could fall, and therefore they are not safe to live, and therefore the washerfolk families should vacate them. At other times the notices say that they are doing illegal occupation, which means they are supplying drugs to the students of IIT Kanpur. Now if you go to any of India's premier higher educational institutions, problem of drugs is rampant. It is not because of the presence of these washerfolk families on IIT Kanpur that students are consuming drugs. It is a national problem. And the washerfolk families are clearly being made a scapegoat. It is so shameful that IIT Kanpur administration is finding every possible reason to evict them from the campus. This is condemnable. The Socialist Party of India stands with the washerfolk families, and we also believe that installation of washing machines is not a good idea. If you refer to Gandhi's seminal text Hind Swaraj, which should have been kind of a guideline for India's development, because it has criticized the modern civilization, it has criticized the mechanization of work, And Gandhi says very importantly that transportation may be a human need, but the speed of transportation is not a human need. I mean, you could travel from one distance to another by various means of transport, but you will have to judiciously choose a means which is best suited for your conditions. Now, if we go for very high speed transportation, it will be costly, like the air travel. Most of the poor people will not be able to afford it. Secondly, it will add to the problem of climate change, because higher the speed of vehicle, the more polluting it is likely to be. The same distance, if you cover by train, even though it will take many more hours, will be less polluting than if you cover it by air. Similarly, washing machines may do the job efficiently in less time, but they are going to displace these 34 Washerfolk families from the campus and from their livelihood. So a judicious choice has to be made, and it has to be ensured that the livelihood of our people. India is a country of vast number of poor and underprivileged people, and because of their economic status, also because of their status in the Indian Hindu caste system, they are condemned to do certain jobs, and they should not be denied at least those opportunities of livelihood that are available to them. And especially the students of the IIT Kanpur campus want these Washerfolk families to be around. They feel more comfortable in dealing with the Washerfolk families, than the idea of doing and washing their clothes themselves. They have a service at their door. The Washerfolk people come to their door and take their clothes, wash them, iron them, and bring them back to their rooms. So this is a service, this is a comfort that the IIT students and faculty members and the staff would like to continue, but the administration somehow is ignoring the public opinion on the campus and is forcing this option of washing machine upon students, which is a threat to the livelihood of Washerfolk. So we stand totally with the rights of the Washerfolk family. It is their fundamental right to life. They have to have an employment to be able to live, and therefore they should not be evicted from the IIT Kanpur campus. In fact, if at all their housing has to be demolished, they should be given new housing, and mind you, with toilets, because now India is supposed to be an open defecation free. Where do you suppose these people go for defecation in the morning? So it is shameful that people, these families, have to go and defecate in open even today. 5 years after India has been declared open defecation free. So they must be ensured a dignified life on the campus, because they have been contributing in a very important manner to the campus community, and they must be accommodated in the campus life of IIT. We hope the IIT administration will be more sensitive and take a sensible decision of not employing washing machines which will become a threat to these Washerfolk families. Thank you.